morning, Scotland. Good morning, social media land. I hope you are well. It is Thursday, the 6th of February, 2025. Scottish independence will not be decided by politicians. It will not be granted by Westminster, and it will not be delivered by a single leader or a perfect moment. It will be achieved when the people of Scotland demand it, when they refuse to be ignored. The independence movement must stop waiting. Too many people believe the future of Scotland depends on what the SNP, the Greens or Alba do next. Political parties are not the gatekeepers of independence. Independence will not come from one party's strategy. It will come from the people focusing on the issue. This is why the three pillars of independence, the political pillar, the international pillar, and the grassroots pillar, must work together. This week we have examined the political pillar, which provides the governance Scotland needs to prove that it is already capable of standing on its own. We've looked at the international pillar, which ensures that Scotland's right to self-determination is recognised beyond the UK, building the pressure that focuses Westminster to justify its resistance. And the grassroots pillar, mobilising the people, the energy and the activism that ensures independence is not just a policy, but a movement. None of these pillars can succeed on their own. A strong pro-Scottish government means nothing without the people behind it. International recognition is meaningless if the movement is weak at home. And grassroots activism needs political and diplomatic strategy to translate action into real change. When all three work together, independence is inevitable. But right now, we are our biggest obstacle. The movement is fractured, divided by mistrust, personal grievances, and political addiction. Some independent supporters refuse to back the SNP, believing that they are moving too slowly or have lost their way. Others refuse to acknowledge that independence cannot be achieved without political action. Some demand radical confrontation, while others insist on gradualism. Every factional dispute, every refusal to work together only strengthens Westminster's grip on Scotland. The longer we turn against each other, the longer Scotland remains in this union. Every factional dispute, every refusal to work together only strengthens Westminster's grip on Scotland. And Westminster knows this. They use the media to push the idea that the independence movement is broken, unstable and leaderless. They amplify divisions, knowing that the more we fight each other, the less we fight them. We take the bait and we do the work for them. This truly has to stop. There's a belief among some that focusing on independence means ignoring social justice, climate change, or public services. That fighting for independence somehow silences other important battles. Wished for Indy. This is a lie designed to divide us. The truth is that Scotland cannot properly tackle poverty, workers' rights, public services while Westminster controls its resources and pulls the purse strings. Independence is not an excuse to ignore these issues. It's the solution to fixing them. It is the only way we can fully address them without Westminster overriding our decisions. This is not an argument that should divide the movement. It should unite it. We all want a fairer, stronger Scotland, one that reflects the values of its people. The only way to build that Scotland is to take full control of our future. And we cannot afford to let this become a distraction. The movement also relies too much on politics. There is a dangerous assumption that independence will happen when the right party, the right leader, or the right strategy within the political pillar appears. That if we wait long enough, somebody will just deliver it for us. But politicians will only act if they know they have the full backing of the people. Independence will not happen because a party demands it. It will happen when the people of Scotland make it impossible to ignore. That is why the grassroots movement must take ownership of the cause, not wait for instructions, not wait for political leaders to act. The real question is not when the SNP or Holyrood will deliver independence. The question is when the movement will create the conditions that force their hand. The first real test of this unity is coming in 2026. The Scottish general election will show whether the movement is capable of working together. This is not about loyalty to a single party. It's about ensuring that Holyrood is controlled by those who put Scotland first. A pro-Scottish government and a pro-Scottish opposition. A parliament that represents the interests of Scotland, not the interests of Westminster. If the movement cannot unite behind the ballot box, then how can it expect politicians to take bold action? If division costs us a pro-Scottish Holyrood, then Westminster will see this as proof that Scotland is not ready and our movement is dead. They will claim that independence is a minority cause. They will use our own mistakes against us. We must take that argument away from them. We must vote for Scotland in 2026. Scottish independence is not an impossible dream. It is not a lost cause. It is inevitable if we make it so. But we must stop waiting for the perfect conditions. We must stop treating political disagreements as bigger threats than the union itself. We must stop letting factionalism, personal grudges, and party loyalty get in the way of the bigger picture. Independence is coming. The only question left is whether we are ready to put the cause above ourselves. Because if we are, then it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Why do people fight amongst themselves within our movement? That energy is wasted on looking inwards at each other, trying to find blame about why we have not moved forward. I find this whole thing insane. I have no issues with Alba. I have no issues with the Greens. I have no issues with the SNP. I have no issues with ISP and the New Scotland Party. I find them a tool to express my self-determination, but they are not the reason that we fight for independence. Politics will only begin in Scotland after we are independent. Between now and then, it's just pretend politics because we don't hold full control of our own policies. We just don't. We need to take that energy and look outwards, no matter how much of a bad taste it leaves in your mouth. We need to look outwards and think, vote SNP in the constituencies, campaign hard for the SNP in the constituencies. They can get a majority just in the constituencies alone. And then we need to fight for the little parties, all the ones that are on the list, all the ones that do not field candidates in the constituencies. Because if you understand how the list vote works, you will know that we can put in place up to about 32 pro-Scottish MSPs in opposition. And that will drown out the pantomime drivel that comes from Westminster-based parties in our country. We need to be there for each other. We need to fight as one. Because see, if we're still staring inwards and we're still turning round and having gripes and stupid arguments over stupid, pointless things that we can't fix until we're independent, we're never going to get there. We will never see independence in our lifetime. We could build up another party. We could exclude the SNP and build up another party. But again, how long will that take for that party to become reputable along mainstream Scotland? Too long for me. I will back SNP in the constituencies. I will back Alba in the Lothians on the list. a pro-Scottish Parliament. Tomorrow we'll be going live and I'll probably get shouty about the same things all over again. And I hope that you can join us at 11 o'clock, YouTube and TikTok. Thank you for watching. Have a tremendous Thursday.
I can't get no sleep.